3.5 Perimeter and area of composite figures. So what's a composite figure? A composite figure is a figure or shape or collection of shapes. So it's made up of two or more geometric figures. Okay, so here we have a picture of a composite figure made out of a rectangle and half of a circle. And down here, same idea. We have another composite figure made up of a partial rectangle, which looks like a circle got cut out of it as well. So we have to know how to find perimeter and area of these composite figures. Okay. So how do you find perimeter? So perimeter is the length, the path length around the shape. So to find the perimeter of a composite figure, number one, determine what shapes make up the figure. Number two, determine all missing outside lengths. And number three, add all outside lengths. Okay. To find the area of a composite figure, number one, determine what shapes make up the figure. Number two, find the area of each of the shapes. And then number three, add the areas of each shape. Okay. And sometimes instead of adding, you may have to subtract as an easier way to solve. So I'm going to show you two examples. Okay. So example one. Let's try and find the perimeter first. So let's look at this as shape number one, the half circle, and here's shape number two, my rectangle. So if I'm interested in looking for perimeter first, so let's say here perimeter. And let's look at the semicircle. So recall the area of the circumference of a circle is 2, so C equals 2 times pi times r. Okay, but what we're really interested in is half the circle. So the perimeter here is going to be 2 pi r divided by 2. It's half the circle. Okay, so that allows these twos to cancel each other from the top and the bottom. So what I'm really left with is pi times r. Now what is r? Well, r is going to be the radius. And we're only told, we're not given any radius information here, but we can infer that this whole line here is the diameter of my circle, okay, from one end to the other end. And we know that diameter is 0.8 meters from the bottom down here. So to find my radius, the radius is just half the diameter. So the diameter divided by 2. So that will be 0.4. So pi times 0.4 is equal to 1.26 meters approximately. Okay. So what other information do we have? Well, I know this side is 1.50 meters based on what I was given over here. And if I use those values, I can add them together to get my total perimeter. So perimeter P is equal to 1.26 plus 1.50 plus 1.50 plus 0.80 for a total of 5.06 meters. Okay, then we do area. So the area for the first shape, the half circle, well, that's going to be the area of a circle, pi r squared, but because it's half a circle, I have to divide it by 2. Okay, so that's going to be pi times 0.4 squared divided by 2. And when you put that into your calculator, you'll get an answer of 0.25 meters squared. Next is the area of the rectangle. That's a lot easier to do. The area is just length times width. And if I add if I multiply the length and the width, I'll be multiplying two values here, 1.5 times 0.8. And together, when I multiply those two values, I get 1.2 meters squared. And then the total area, I'll say A subscript T, area total equals 0.25 from the half circle plus 1.2 for my rectangle for a total area value of 1.45 meters squared. And there you go. On to example number 2. So here I have an interesting composite figure. So the strategy I might choose to, well, let's look at perimeter first. So what I need to do for perimeter is try and, I have every single value for the straight edges here, but what I don't have is this arc, right? This arc, this circular portion, right? So I'm gonna make an assumption here, okay? And I'm gonna say that this arc is 1/4 of a circle, okay? So if you notice, if I make an L shape here, this could represent 1/4 of a circle. Okay, so the circular portion for this question, the circular portion, that length of that path is going to be the circumference of a circle, so 2 pi r. But because it's a quarter, this looks like a quarter of a circle, I'm going to have to divide this by 4. Okay, and so what would the radius of this circle be? Well, it would be this distance right here, and I can find that by looking at the fact that the entire side length of the rectangle is 3, and I have this portion here which is 1, and if I subtract those two values, 3 minus 1, I will get 2. So 3 minus 1 is equal to 2 centimeters. So that's what I'm going to use for my radius. So here I'm going to write 2 pi r, so 2 pi times 2 over 4, leaving me with the value of pi, right? 2 times 2 is 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1, and I have pi. So pi, or I could just say 3.14. So my perimeter will equal, add up all the sides, so 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 1 plus 3.14 gives me a value of 15.14 centimeters. Okay, now what about the area? Now the strategy for the area might be to look at the entire rectangle first. So find the area of the rectangle that the dotted lines will make here. But I'm going to subtract this quarter circle, right? Because there's no actual figure in here. I have to subtract the quarter circle. Okay, so let's look at the area of the circular portion. So the pi r squared is the area of a circle, but because I'm taking a quarter of the circle, I have to divide by 4. Okay, so this will be pi times 2 squared over 4, and 2 squared is 4, so pi times 4 divided by 4. Those two cancel, leaving me again with an answer of 3.14, but this time centimeters squared instead of just centimeters, because area has to be in square units. So my total area, let's write it down here, area total. I'm going to show you just visually or graphically. I'm going to take the area of the rectangle and subtract that semicircle portion. Okay, so the total area of the rectangle is length times width. So here's my length, 5 centimeters. The width is going to be 3 centimeters. So I'm going to write here 3 times 5, and then I have to subtract the area of the quarter circle, so 3.14, leaving me with an answer of 15 minus 3.14, which is 12.14 centimeters squared. So there's some questions on perimeter and area for composite figures I want you to try, and that ends this video.